Hi friends, welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Caroline. I like to do knitting and crocheting videos on my channel, and today is the video for my January tea stashing. So if you've never seen one of these videos before, I basically show you what I do in a month regarding projects. So what do I cast on, what do I finish, what yarn do I acquire, and what yarn, most importantly, do I get rid of. So yeah, it's basically just showing you what yarn I have and where it goes and what it goes into. Today is the 2nd of January because I came back yesterday for my holiday. So we're having a bit of a late start, but I figured I would show you all the projects, the work in progresses I have currently, so you are up to date. First things first, I did buy some yarn in the last week of December. I bought some extra yarn so I can finish my blanket, which is this bad boy. This is one of my works in progresses. It's called the Guilty Conscious Blanket. It's one of my own patterns I made in collaboration with Hobie, and I will link it in the description. And then on holiday, I ran out of my blanket, like the yarn for the blanket, which is why I bought more yarn. I ran out of yarn on holiday, but I obviously still wanted to do something, so I bought some yarn. This is Casaso bamboo, the DK weights, 100% bamboo yarn. This color, absolutely stunning. And so far it's really nice. It is a bit splitty, but that's kind of always the case with yarns like this. For the fact that it's a plant fibre, it's actually really not that bad. And I am making the olive top with it. So I finished the first 2 triangles. It's really hard to show you this, but that's basically it. So I finished 2 out of 4 triangles, and I'm really happy with it so far. So the olive top is a pattern that is designed for, I think, even like fingering weight yarn. And as I said, this is a DK yarn. Why am I making the olive top, you may ask? Because that's the pattern I wanted to make, and I got a DK yarn not really thinking about the pattern I wanted. Well, originally I wanted to make a crochet pattern because I already brought my crochet hook. So I was like, okay, well, then I only have to get myself some yarn. But then I started that and I wasn't really happy with it. So then I got some knitting needles and chose this pattern. So I'm making a size extra small. Usually I would do a size large, but I did the math, and with the size extra small I should be fine. It might turn out a bit bigger than intended, but I honestly don't mind if it turns out a bit bigger, because then it would just be a flowy top. So so far I'm really happy with how it's turning out. And then I've got my T number 1 that is basically, well, it's literally almost finished. I need to do the second sleeve and then finish off the body, which I think needs like 4 more centimeters or something. I shrugged the tank top that I had at my parents' place for more yarn, so we should hopefully be able to finish it with this yarn. If not, I do still have a couple of other projects that I brought with me from my parents' house that also have this yarn in them, so I will have enough yarn. I just hope not to have to throw those, but we'll see. This is kind of silly, but I finished my zipper sweater like 2-3 months ago now. I just still need to put in the zipper, so this is it. But yeah, I still need to put in the zipper. I've got it ready to go. I just need to sit down and do that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to, but it's also silly to just like abandon this project just because I have to put it in a zipper. Like, I did all the knitting and it's like finished. It's finished, it just needs a zipper. So I will be putting in the zipper. I hope to be doing that this month. And then I have my ruffle socks. So I was meant to take these with me on my holiday, but like the day before I realised that the cheaper sock knitting needles I have are a size too big, because I made these in a size 2.25 and my cheaper knitting needles are 2.5, and I didn't want to risk bringing my expensive knitting needles on the plane, so I will have to finish this one, these, this year, which, not this year, this month, preferably this month, not just this year. I would really like to do more sock knitting this year. Last year my goal was to do 6 socks in a year. I did 4.5 because I did a lot of basic socks which went fine, and then I decided to do the ruffle sock, and that just got me out of my mojo. So after I finish those, I would really like to I will just stay at the 6 socks a year from now, because I didn't do it last year, so it wouldn't make sense to up my goal, but I would theoretically like to do more than 6 socks this year, but we'll see. We'll have to see how that will turn out. And then I also want to recount all of my stash, my yarn in my stash, because I'm not quite sure that I did the tracking of my yarn quite right last year. I think I did, roughly, but I would like to recoup and see if what I have written down is actually correct. So I basically finished my blanket. I still need to make a couple more squares, for which I just received the yarn. So we're gonna do a little yarn haul, and then we can get into it and finish this bad boy, because it's time. Let's get into it. I got my yarn, and I figured I would show you what I got, because it's not just for my blanket. I was of the opinion that I deserved a little treat for all of the stashing I did last year, so I got one sweater quantity of yarn for a sweater I've been wanting to make for over a year now, and I had the exact colours and plan in my head. I'm not sure if I'm gonna need this, but this is the green colour for my blanket. I got one skein of this. Again, I'm not sure, I didn't do the math that I set out with, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna need this for my blanket, but if not, I'm gonna use the leftovers from my blanket to make the baby sweater. So I figured it wouldn't hurt to have one extra of this one. If it came to that, I'd rather have too much than too little, because I am not ordering again for this freaking blanket, okay? I refuse. 2 of the white colour for my blanket, 1 of these. And then I got yarn for the Luma sweater. Let me show you the colours that I chose. For the main body I got this brown colour. This is the colour 100? No. The colour 20. This is the Friends wool, by the way, which is 100% wool. I've got this green for the leafy bits. This is the colour 114, and of white, and this is colour 2. And then for the flowers I wanted a purple. So these are the colours. How do I show you this? So how much did we add to stash? 2, 4, 14, 16, 18, and then I also got this one in Spain, which I think was 200 grams, so that's +4. I frogged that top for my tea number 1, which is 75 grams that I have added. So that's another 1.5 skein. So 25.5 skeins, which brings us up to 175. In my defense, I bought this last year. So technically this was added in December. And I've yet to buy more. Well, this one was added yesterday, because yesterday I did the frogging. So this one was added to the stash in January. But so far, this is the only thing I added. And this was with the intention of finishing a project that I have in my work in progress pile. So we're doing great this year. I'm going to unalive myself. There's no way this is enough yarn. I'm so close. This is literally the stupidest thing ever, but I ran out of yarn, and this is the only thing I still have to do. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 more squares. I calculated. It's like, oh, I only need 2 skeins. And I even thought I had extra, but apparently, I mean, there's a reason I study a language and I don't do math. Why am I like this? Here's the thing, right? I could just stop now and come back to it once I've got the yarn, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna persevere, and I'm gonna finish the blanket right now, basically as if I have those squares, and then once I got the yarn, I literally only have to put in those squares and sew in those edges, and then I would like to do like a single crochet border around the entire blanket just to finish it off, but yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna just sew all the gaps close, weave in the ends that then need to be woven in, and then leave it to the side until I have my yarn. I now still have my olive top and my socks, ruffle socks, and I guess my blanket, but I don't have the yarn. I will first finish my ruffle socks and then I can continue on my olive top. I think that's the plan right now. So I know I said I would do my ruffle socks first, but I just haven't felt like casting it on just yet. So instead I moved on with my olive top. So while I was away on Christmas break, I made 2 of the triangles. These will be the back triangles because they're all the same, but I made these on plastic needles, and so they do have a slightly different gauge. Like, it's nothing substantial, but you can sort of tell the difference if you really look at it. And I'm planning on just making the top on my liquor needles because that's just way more pleasant. So I'm gonna put these in the bag, and then these will be my front triangles. I don't know why I think I'm so smart for this, but I was planning on casting on this triangle. I started this tonight, right? And all of a sudden I had this realization that I could just knit them at the same time. I don't know why I think I'm like a genius for this. People have probably thought of this before, but I just thought of it and I was like, oh my god. But I think I have only like 10 more rows to go on these, and then I finished all 4 triangles and I can attach it in a round, which I'm looking forward to. And then I also think I can probably move forward with this pretty fast. Might actually finish this one this month. Also, I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I did also order some yarn for my blanket, so I'm gonna finish that one this month as well. And then if I can finish this olive top, then I would only have my ruffle socks, which in theory I should also be able to finish this month, which would be awesome, because that means that we can start February with a clean slate. Time to finally finish this freaking blanket. Let's make 11 squares, attach them, make a little border, and then we will celebrate. Alright, let's talk updates. First things first, my olive top. I'm like probably halfway done, which is concerning considering I only have like 50 grams of yarn left. I'm low-key a little embarrassed that this keeps happening to me. Anyway, in other news, it does look great. I am very happy with how it's looking. I'm just gonna continue knitting and we'll see. I finally finished my blanket, so let me show you. I don't know how else to show you this in its full form. Like I can't. It's even longer. But I am so ridiculously happy with the fact that it's finally done and it's looking great. So this entire blanket turned out to take up, if I remember correctly, around 1800 grams. We already got rid of 1060 grams, so the grams that are in here that we haven't counted out of stash yet is 720 grams, which is still quite a lot. So 720 grams out of stash for this bad boy. I could cry, quite literally. I'm so happy. Also, finally put in the zipper on my zipper spotter. I've been wearing it. It's great. Really, again, wish I would have done it sooner, but that's the story of my life. And I also finished my tea number 1, which took up 370 grams, if I remember correctly. So that's another like 4-ish skeins. So 370 plus 720, so that's 1100. Can I count? 1100 grams out of stash. Insane. I counted how many grams 8 rows took up, because the hem of this top is 8 rows. So I need that plus these straps at the very least, right? But this is way too cropped to be adding the hem at this point. And I've got 33 grams left. 8 rows takes up 21. So yeah, I definitely do not have enough yarn. I'm trying to decide how I'll tackle this. I'm not gonna pull it out and make something else with it. That's absolutely not an option because there's actually a lot of work in this, and I just love the way it is, so I'm not gonna do that. That would be stupid. However, it's also bamboo yarn. I have no other bamboo yarn in my stash, so I also can't say like, oh, I don't know, I don't even think it would look good, but I can't like make another section in a different color but still in bamboo yarn. So that's also not an option. So basically the only thing I can do is get more yarn. However, this yarn is Spanish yarn. I got this when I was in Spain. I looked it up, I can buy it online. Is the shipping just as expensive as the yarn would be? Yes. But am I maybe willing to do that? Also yes. I have to, I'm just trying to decide whether I'm gonna do it right away, like right now. I'm gonna put in an order and cry about it a little bit, just a tiny little bit. Wait, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna ask my parents really nicely if they can bring another skein with them for me, because they will be coming over to the Netherlands in like less than a week. I'm gonna ask and see if maybe perhaps they can, which is a big ask because they would have to then go to the yarn store and get yarn for me and then bring it with them when they go to the Netherlands, which I know I'm asking for a lot, but I'm gonna try before I order yarn. Yeah, that's the update. The update is that I am once again an idiot. An idiot sandwich. I love how this entire video has just been me in this hoodie, which is just, you know, basically a glorified onesie. I have news. I did in fact not have enough yarn, as we've established. I needed all the yarn that I had up in this tank, so like literally this is all I've left. So I did ask my parents if they could get me more yarn. They don't have the time for that in between now and when they leave, so unfortunately that was not an option. So I did order more yarn today. The most annoying thing about this is that for some reason this yarn is only available, at least to me. I don't know if you can buy them in different quantities, but to me they're only available in the 200 gram balls that I also got. Like, they're just 200 gram balls, and I had one of them hoping that it would be enough. It's, as we established, it's not, but now I have to buy another 200 grams because apparently that's the only quantity that they sell, which is annoying because obviously this is not gonna take 200 more grams. So I would have to then figure out what I want to do with the rest of the yarn. I ordered the yarn The amount of yarn I've ordered in just January alone is shocking. We live and we learn. Except that I don't learn, apparently. In the meantime, I'm gonna finish my ruffle socks. You know what, I am sure that once I start it will be fine. It's just, I'm really not looking forward to starting it, is the problem. I will give this to myself if I finish the ruffle socks before I got the yarn in to finish this top. I'll allow myself to cast something on, but only then. The yarn for my olive top is on the way here. They shipped it this morning. In the meantime, I have actually started on my ruffle socks. I casted on the second one. This was absolutely hell. I'm currently doing the cuff. I finished the ruffle, which is the worst part about this pattern. So I'm now doing like the cuff situation here, and after I finish that, there's another rough part of I guess it's like attaching the ruffle, like folding the edge over and attaching the ruffle at the same time. Listen, it's been a while since I've done this, but I do remember that that's also not very pleasant. And then it's just a sock. And then it's just a sock, and I have no reason to complain anymore. But until then, I will be complaining. Mark my words. This happened. From now on, it's just a sock, and as you can see, I've been flying through it. I'm done with the leg. That being said, the ruffle socks obviously are quite short in the leg. I don't even want to know when I cast these on. Let me... The 28th of June last year. They have been in hibernation for a very long time, so I'm very happy to get these out of my whip pile. I think I can definitely finish these this month. It's stow time. I spun a little bit, but I have come to the conclusion that I do want to knit. It's just not the same, you know? I'm gonna grab something from my stash and cast something new on. However, I did spend the entire day logging all my yarn in a Google Sheets. You're not going to be able to see this, but I wrote everything down, all the grams and stuff. I also added some yarn into stash because I forgot some old projects that I didn't wear, so I figured now that I'm counting all my yarn, I might as well do that at the same time. In our stash we currently have 8,814 grams, which divided by 15 makes up 176 skeins. This does also exclude the yarn that we used up from the blanket and the yarn we used in my tea number 1 in my ruffle socks, and the yarn that's currently in my olive top has already been counted out of stash as well. I did also calculate what we started the month with, and apparently that was 203.5 skeins. We used up more than 25 skeins this month, which is insane. Yesterday, after I finished my wicked hat, I casted on a new pair of socks, since I have the goal to make at least 6 socks this year. I finished one pair. I'm gonna count my roll socks just as a single pair, not as a half, because that's weird. So yes, I did one half of the of those pairs of socks last year, but I'm counting it as a full pair for this year. However, that being said, I want to make at least 6. I would rather make more. And I needed a project for on the go because I had a train ride today. So I cast it on the broken seat stitch sock. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I will link it in the description as always. However, it's not as much of a pattern as it's a sock recipe, which is fine. But this is it. This is how far I've gotten. I think it looks very, very pretty, but I cast it on 60 stitches on my 2.25mm needles, which is what I usually do for my socks, but they are turning out a little bit too big, and in theory I could just ignore it and it probably, like, it would be fine. They would still fit, they would just be a little bit baggy, but you know, if I put this much effort in my socks, I would want them to fit right. So I think I unfortunately will have to rip all of this work back, which, yes, was quite a lot. That being said, it was train knitting, so I don't really know if that like, obviously it counts, but it's like, at least I had something to do while I was on the train. Yeah, I know, it looks very pretty though. Like, it looks very, very pretty. I cast it on these socks before. I can't remember if I had the same issue with the size being too big, but I do remember that my contrast was too low because I used a light green and a white. So this is the color combination I came up with instead. I think it looks great. I think it works really well. But yeah, I do have to unfortunately cast on less stitches. To look at it from the bright side, less stitches in the round means a lot less stitches overall in the sock, which means it will go quicker. So I'm gonna frog this. I just got a very exciting package. My yarn has arrived. Time to continue on the olive top. So I finished the straps. One is definitely longer than the other, but it's like maybe max a centimeter. I don't actually care. If I cared, I would have counted the rows and be precise about it, but I don't care. No one's gonna know. How will they know? Because I'm telling you, but that's the only reason you would know. I think I'm gonna put on a longer cable or like an extension so I can try it on now and see how much longer I have to go. I definitely need to finish this chart, and then I think another one in the hem, but we'll see. The fit is actually pretty good. Like, for the fact that I had to like calculate the gauge and everything myself, I think it's pretty solid. I will have to say, and I've read this after I've casted this on and looked at Ravelry pages, the armhole is quite wide, so maybe I could have benefited from taking one repeat out to make it a little bit tighter, but I like it. Yeah, I think I'm actually finishing this chart and then doing the hem. So I decided that I finished the charts and I've decided that I'm just going to do the hem right now. It's probably also going to grow still. So I started on the hem. I need 8 more rows and then I can cast off. I started on my Luma sweater, Luma pullover by Sarah Nordland. Originally I wanted to cast on the BB sweater first, but here's the thing. That sweater is sport weight, right? So it's on a pretty small gauge, and then it's also bottom up, which is not my preferred way for working. I like top down sweaters more. So when I had to cast on to start that sweater, it was about like 400 stitches on 2.5mm needles, and I said, nah, it can wait. This is how far I am with my Luma sweater at the moment. I'm excited. It works out very, very fast. So far, obviously it's gonna go slower the more stitches we add, but So far it's going great. So I'm aware I haven't actually spoken to you in quite a while, but I finally finished my exams just today actually. I don't think I actually managed to take any footage of this, but I did knit on my Luma sweater quite a bit here and there. And we are basically finished with the yoke. And not to toot my own horn, but this is stunning. I haven't properly tried it on yet, and I just put on a longer cable, so I figured we would do it together. It seems quite big, but then again it's a round yoke, so I guess, I believe it's fine. But just in case it isn't, I figured I would film it, so then at least I get content out of my pain. It's so good. I did change up the last colorwork section, because I didn't love the circle motif that they use in the original, so I just did another one of these bad boys, but just mirrored, so it would go the other way. I did feel a little bit guilty for buying yarn, but the excitement that this is making me feel really proves to me that it was worth it, because yes, I want to do destashing, but I think it was time for me to have a proper buy yarn for a specific plan, execute plan, and get this out of it. It was time. I needed this, and now I am really I'm just so excited, and it's worth it. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are, you're not telling me that this isn't gorgeous, because it is, and I am in love. Alright, so it's the last day of January, and as always we're gonna recap what we've done this month, because it's a lot. Yes, it's a lot. First let's discuss finished objects. My ruffle socks, 2 in fact, which marks off the first of the 6 pairs of socks that I want to make this year, and I'm very, very pleased with the fact that these are done. I'm not loving the start of these socks. I think it's worth it because it is very cute, but it's definitely something I won't be doing again anytime soon. They used up 72 grams. Next up, my tee number 1. The color is a choice. I do think I will be dyeing this over. I will have to kind of do some research though, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna dye it black, because you can never have too many basic black tees. I finally sewed in the zipper for my zipper sweater. Oh, sorry. The tee number 1 took up 369 grams, and my zipper sweater didn't add, it used up grams, but we already counted it out of stash because the knitting was done. I just had to sew in the zipper. So no yarn out of stash for that one. I did knit up the weekend hat by Petite Knit. It's downstairs in my winter jacket, and I can't really be bothered to grab it. It used up 78 grams of yarn. I also finished my olive top, but it's currently drying. It's on the blocking mats, so I can't show you, but you've already seen footage. And that one took up 230 grams of yarn. Last but not least, my blanket. I still don't really know how to show you my blanket. It's amazing. If I may say so myself, I think it's a piece of art. The blanket, finally done. It's a labor of love, but it's so pretty. It's amazing, I love it. So really, really happy with this one. In total, it took up, I got it written down somewhere. Alright, so in total, this blanket took up 1,780 grams. We already counted 1,060 grams out of stash, so the remaining grams we need to count for this month is 720. If we count all of that up, we have destashed 1,483 169 grams out of stash this month. With that, we currently remain, the grams in stash that are remaining currently is 9,506, which is the equivalent of 119, which is the equivalent of 190 skeins. I did also add a sweater quantity of Drops Fiesta in my stash, which is gonna be the yarn that I will hold with my sweater quantity of mohair. So the 190 skeins do include 12 of those skeins that I got for a sweater. It doesn't include the hand spun yarn that I finished this month because I still have some fiber and I just want to finish up all the fiber before I count this into my stash. But I did want to show you because it's so good. Almost forgot to show you my Luma pullover. So this is the Luma pullover by Sari Nordlands, and I have been making quite some progress. I split for the sleeves and the body. I'm halfway through the body, supposedly. I think I will probably end up lengthening it, but maybe not, I don't know. I'll have to see. But yeah, this is also going on. This is the first sweater quantity of yarn that I got for this year. And initially I did feel a little bit guilty about it, but seeing how excited this makes me about knitting again just proves to me that it was worth it. So finishing this one, and then I am really excited to like dive back into my stash and see what I can make with it. I've been exploring all sorts of sock knitting ideas because I do truly believe that this will be the year of sock knitting for me. I know I've only finished one individual sock technically because I already finished the other one, but well, not completely. Anyway, I'm counting it as one pair out of 6, but I'm just really excited to like dive into it. Maybe also some colorwork socks, which are not my favorite usually, but I've been seeing some like really nice ones. I do always like the way they look, so I kind of want to try it again. So that's what in the future. I do wanted to put out like a little public service announcement for those who really enjoy this series. Thank you. I've been really enjoying making these videos as well, so I really appreciate that you guys like them. I will be changing up regular scheduling. I have decided that I will split these videos in half. So you're gonna get a desession video every other week from now on, and that way it's just a little bit easier on my workload. But I also think that it's nice that the videos will be a little bit more in real time. So if I have a question or I want your advice in week 1, you can actually give it to me without it being too late, if that makes sense. I think that would be nice. That's the plan. I guess that was this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, make sure to subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram. You can also follow me on Ravelry. Let me know what you're working on. Without further ado, I will see you guys next week.